because it's going to require me to be very vulnerable, transparent, and real with you all as I discuss future of this YouTube channel.
So Christian YouTuber Allen Parr recently put out a video about the future of his YouTube channel, and I wanted to react to it because I love Allen Parr. In fact, he's one of the reasons why I got into Christian content to begin with. About 5 years ago, I took a little break and I came back recently, but I really appreciate all of his content and I appreciate what he has to say here. I want to react to it and even get your opinion. So let's listen to what he has to say.
Guys, this is a video that, if I'm being completely honest with you, is not a video that I ever really wanted to make and planned on making because it's going to require me to be very vulnerable, transparent, and real with you all as I discuss candidly kind of the future of this YouTube channel.
And he has always been vulnerable and candid and very honest, which is one of the things that I appreciate about him.
And just honestly, where I'm at right now, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, as it relates to YouTube. So I got some notes over here. So if you see me looking over here, I just want to capture all my thoughts in this video. A couple of months ago, I'd say about a month ago, I had this great milestone, if you will, where I passed over 1 million subscribers on this channel, and everybody was singing my praises, and everybody was sending me congratulatory messages,
including me,
and all of that. And what should have been a really, really exciting time of celebration as we look at that milestone, it was experienced with mixed emotions, if I'm just being completely honest with you all, because unfortunately, what I started doing is I looked at the number of subscribers that I had amassed,
Now, as a YouTuber and as a Christian content creator, if you will, there is a lot of emotional ups and downs when it comes to who's subscribing, who's watching, who's commenting, why they're subscribing, are they trolling? I mean, it is a very emotional process, and I can't even imagine. I mean, I've only got sub 2,000. He has over 1 million, and that's weighty. That's weighty.
1 million people clicked that button and said they want to subscribe.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's a lot of people. But then I allowed negativity and discouragement to kind of creep in because I started looking at my views on a lot of the videos that I was putting out at that time. And when I looked at the difference, the discrepancy, if you will, between the number of people who were watching the videos and the number of people who subscribed, I allowed the enemy to just get to me, It was like, man, are my people not interested in my videos? Like, how come, the majority, like 80, 90% of the people who subscribed are not interested in the content, right?
Yeah.
I get it, right? That was just me letting the enemy get to me. This was why I didn't want to make this video. Some of you are going to judge me, but I'm just being honest with you and transparent. So,
hey, when you start looking at the metrics behind the curtain, behind the scenes on your YouTube channel, your analytics, it is and it can be very discouraging when you have a certain amount of subscribers, but very few actually watch the content. And then even more than half of them in a lot of cases aren't even subscribed. Like it feels away for sure.
Let me just kind of give you some context for where I'm going with this. About 8 years ago, I started this ministry, and I really just wanted to teach the Bible. I wanted to help people understand, truth from error.
I remember
to be able to discern. I wanted to be able to help people understand how to study the Bible for themselves and have sound theology. And thankfully, I believe that we've been able to accomplish that for the most part.
For sure.
But as of late, if I'm just being honest, like I've been discouraged because what I've seen is a shift in the type of content that is being consumed on YouTube, that's being created on YouTube, and the type of content that, if I'm being honest, most of my subscribers are more interested in. And it seems like...
So what he's getting at here, and I'm going to let him continue to explain this, but he may have more subscribers than all of the other Christian YouTube content creators, but they may be getting more views because of the type of content that they're creating, whether it be things that are happening in pop culture or the latest trends or the latest celebrity to say something about God, things like that. Whereas he creates content where primarily Bible study based, going through books of the Bible, answering tough questions of the Bible, and not seeing as many views.
We're living in a world where more Christians are interested in, when I put out a video on, I don't know, Beyonce's new album, the video blows up, right? Yeah. 800,000 views. But when I put out a video on like the 7 last teachings of Jesus, which we worked really hard on, or other videos about, how to study the Bible, or, I don't know, how to overcome fear or shame or doubt in your life or whatever, using the word of God. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. It just seems like the majority of Christians, or at least a lot of my subscribers, just not interested in that content. And that really broke my heart, if I'm being honest, because I'm like, man, this is okay. I could do a video on Beyonce, but like, is that really what you need in terms of your spiritual growth? Is that commentary on her album going to help you be a better husband, to be a better father, to be a better Christian? Maybe in some ways, yes, but
And I could totally identify with what he's saying. Like when God puts something on your heart, and in his case, to be that Bible teacher, that online pastor, that minister or ministry that helps you get through the Bible, understand tough questions. And then you have things like topics of Beyonce coming up, and they get way more views. I totally get that. But I also want to play devil's advocate in that pop culture is always going to win in the end, because people are just people. Our nature is what it is. And when somebody who has a lot of influence, a lot of followers, whether they're a Christian or not, and they're talking about something, right, they're a star of a movie, they're an NBA player, whatever, people are going to flock to that. And one of the things that I think is so important, because I believe in Allen Parr, his ministry, and everything that he does. I support him. I don't really have anything bad to say about him. My heart goes out to him. But I think content like what I create, and you have a Ruslan, and you have a What Do You Meme, John Lecrae, and you have Anthony Karai, people like that, John Clash. We take things that are happening in pop culture that are being highlighted to the world, and we say, hey, this is actually what God says. It's not what Joe Rogan said. It's not what Bill Maher said. It's not what, whoever it might be. And we're countering the culture with the truth of the gospel. And I think that is needed. Not only is what Allen Parr, his content needed, but it's also needed what the combating of the cultural, what the culture would say is norm, and what God would say, no, that's not what you should be doing.
When I look at that content as compared to like giving you solid biblical principles for how to live the Christian life, there's no question. I think that this content over here is more valuable, but it didn't seem like many of my subscribers were really more interested in that, right? So essentially, as I saw this shift happen, I started to see a slight decline on my channel. Yeah. And let me go back. All right. So whenever I started in 2015, I could put out a video like, should Christians drink alcohol? Or should Christians take vacations together if you're single? Or, hey, should Christians believe in the rapture? Or an overview of the book of John, or whatever it is. And people were interested in that, right? Yeah. But as the content shifted, as things kind of changed, it seems to be that nowadays, what's more appealing is pop culture, celebrity culture, whether that's Christian celebrities or non-Christian celebrities. And it's really about whose picture we can put on the thumbnail and put it in the title. So Carl Lentz, fails from Hillsong Church, New York. And everybody wants to see that because it's drama, right? Yeah. And it's like, that seems to be what more people are interested in.
Now, unfortunately, that is a reality. That is a truth. And I'm not saying that's right. And I'm not saying that's the best thing, but it is part of our nature, and it is being strategic with what we do. And so when you have a Ruslan having these thumbnails with celebrities and stuff, it really does get the attention of people. And I would argue back a little bit against Allen Parr, and I would say, hey, it's not only getting the attention of those of us who want Christian content, but it is getting the attention of those who are not Christian, and it's giving them a Christian perspective on the current climate of our culture. And so that is super important. And again, they're both important. We need everything. We need Bible studies. We need all of, but we also need to combat the current culture.
Is that all right? I don't want to make the video all about that, because let me just say this. I've got a lot of friends on YouTube whom I love dearly and I respect dearly, and they make a lot of that content, and I love them for that. And I think there's significant value in that type of content. I've done that type of content on my channel. So please don't see this as me saying that content is not valuable. There's so much value in getting a Christian biblical worldview to the things that are going on in this world, right? And bringing a Christian perspective to that. But that's just not what this channel is ever going to be about. Is just doing that type of content. And so I started thinking, man,
good for him.
Do I need to shift my focus? Do I need to shift the type of content that I do so that I can remain relevant on YouTube, right? And so I was left with this decision, and I'll get back to that in just a moment. All right. So I want to talk to you guys about the future of this channel, which is really the point of this video, and where I'm going with this. And I've been on video.
And I'll let him talk a little bit about the future. But I did point out, or I did write down the 3 things that he talks about. I'll talk about them so this video doesn't get too long. But I'm going to let him go ahead and share his heart for the first one here.
On YouTube for about 8 years now, and for the past 5.5 years, guys, I have been cranking out 2 videos a week. Not just simple videos where I'm sitting behind my desk talking, like high quality, high edited, highly produced videos a week. And I need to take a step back. I need to take a step back from that. And this is what it's going to look like and why. And my prayer is, my biggest prayer is, if you're a Christian YouTuber or you're just an influencer in general, that you would really take heed and listen to the words that I'm getting ready to say, because I know that I'm not the only one feeling this way. I know that there are other influencers who are going at the pace that I've been going at for the last 5-6 years, and it's not a healthy pace. And so I am making the decision to take a step back from YouTube. And
now I know, and I really appreciate him saying this, because even myself as a Christian content creator, YouTuber, whatever you want to call us, I have a full-time job. I pastor a small church. I have my family. I have a YouTube cycling channel. I have a lot going on. And there is a certain pressure for me to put out 1 or 2 videos a week, or else you just feel like your channel just falls by the wayside, right? Like people forget about it if you don't put out a video. And sometimes there's a lot of content, and sometimes you're scratching your head and like, what do I put out? And do I have enough time to prepare for it? There's all of these things. So I really appreciate him saying this.
Share with you in a moment what that's going to look like. But here are my 4 reasons for why I'm doing this. First and foremost, mentally, right? Mentally, what I realized was that I was allowing my part of my identity to be wrapped up in YouTube. I was, whenever I put out a video and it blew up and it went viral, I'd feel good about myself. Oh man, people like my content. I'm feeling good. But then when I put out another video that maybe didn't perform so well, I found myself kind of down. So my YouTube journey, pretty much any month, was be up and down emotionally, right? Based on how I thought the videos were performing. And so what I started to do was I started to believe the lie from the enemy that the YouTube algorithm determines whether a video that I put out is good or bad. So the way it works, guys, is if I put out a video on YouTube and let's just say 95% of the people don't watch it, and only 5% of the people click on the video.
How it works.
The video could be great. And I know that because I look at your comments and you're like, oh, Brother Allen, this video really helped me. But YouTube doesn't think it is.
Right.
So YouTube is going to look at the fact that only 5% of the people look at the video, and they're going to be like, you know what? We're not going to keep pushing this video to more of Allen's subscribers. We're going to shut it down, and we're not going to push it out. And as a result, that video doesn't perform as well because of the algorithm. And I allowed myself to, I don't know, to feel like the algorithm determined my worth. Right. Like if the algorithm likes my videos, then it must be a good video. But if the algorithm doesn't like my videos, then it must not be a good video. So
there's a lot that he goes over, and this will be too long of a video if we go through that whole thing. But I'll put the link to that video in the description. But I do want to first and foremost say that I love Pastor Allen Parr. I love his ministry. I love the beat. He is one of the reason, him and Pastor Mike Schmitz, or Father Mike Schmitz, a Catholic YouTuber, those two from Ascension Presents, those two are the two that I saw early on when I started my channel. And so again, I started it about 5 years ago, took a little break, didn't understand it, wish I wouldn't have, but came back late last year and have been making videos ever since. And really, my heart goes out to him. He talks about these things, to take a break mentally, because creating 2 a week at the quality that he does is not easy. And I totally get that. He later talks about how he has another ministry that he wants to invest into that he has neglected. And he also talks about family and his marriage, how to a large degree, although his marriage is great, it's solid, he has missed a lot of time and opportunities and things to be with his wife, to be with his aging parents. And he goes over all of that. And so I just want to tell you, if you're listening to this video, to pray for Allen Parr. I have no clue what it's like to feel the weight of 1 million subscribers and to put out content not knowing how it's going to be received. But I do want to just say we need everything. We need both. We do need the Bible study of Allen Parr. We do need the perspectives that he puts out on the latest worship music and his studies through the book of Corinthians, Church Gone Wild, and all of and I watched those, Allen. So if you're watching this, I could recite some of the titles that you have that you've put out, because I watch both. I like to watch Ruslan. I like to watch What Do You Meme and John Clash and Aaron Anthony Karai and these guys that are doing pop culture type of videos, including, I do the same thing, type of combat the culture. And I think they're both important, right? And so I would encourage you, Allen, and those of you here, watch both. I watch both. I gravitate, towards the pop ones, but I do listen to yours as well. And I think both are needed. I think when somebody, again, I'll reiterate what I said, I'll repeat what I said, and then we'll finish this. But I'm curious as to what you think. Are they both needed? Is one or the other? Are people just not wanting to hear the gospel? You tell me what you think. But I just think they're both important, because some of these celebrities that have the ear of millions, right, say something wonky off about God, and somebody needs to get out there and say, this isn't right. This is not right. Like, this is what they said doesn't make sense about God. Here is the truth of the gospel. And that's why I appreciate a lot of the content creators, Christian content creators, that combat popular culture, and I being one of them. I want to make sure that God is not misrepresented, but I also want to make sure that I'm doing it in a healthy way. And so what Allen Parr is doing here is not only saying, hey, this is what my channel is going to be about. It's unfortunate that it feels like more people are interested in pop culture than they are the Bible. That might be the case. I think we still need both. But more importantly, he needs a mental break. He needs to focus on some other parts of ministry. He needs to focus on his family and his marriage. And we just need to pray for him. I mean, he's an amazing, amazing used man of God. And I'll never say anything bad about him. Allen, if you ever, I can't imagine you would find this video, but if you did, know that I love you. Know that you've inspired me. Know that I do consume your content. And I'm so grateful for all the time and all the work that you put into it. And I support your decision to dial it back. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you on the next one.